The LSU baseball roster is rounding into shape. We've got the latest. It's Locked on LSU. Here we go.
You are Locked on LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, let's get it. It is Locked on LSU, your team every day. I'm your host, Matt Moscona. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. We are free, available wherever you get podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. So please subscribe. As always, one of the fastest ways to help us grow is by leaving your comments below. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Busy show today as the LSU baseball roster is starting to round into shape with two more players signing their professional contracts. We'll give you the update. Sat down with Chris Hilton at SEC Football Media Days. You'll hear that chat as promised. And Dan Borne, the legendary voice of Tiger Stadium and the PMAC, is retiring. I have some thoughts. We'll get to all that on today's episode. So thanks for hanging out with us. So over the weekend, we learned that both Anthony Eyanson and Chase Shores signed their professional contracts. And I bring this up, not that this is in any way surprised. Eyanson was number 40 overall, and Shores at number 87 overall. Shores was 47 overall. Eyanson was 87 overall. There were 40 picks apart, forgive me. And I bring this up just to illustrate again what happens sometimes in the baseball drafts, because we talk a lot about slot value and what contracts are worth and so on. Well, Chase Shores got $2.08 million, which was the full slot value for the 47th pick. So he went in round two and still made over $2 million. So Shores is one we talked about who kind of had a decision to make, right? Do you take your $2 million, $2.5 million, and sign, having already had Tommy John, battled back from it, or do you come back to school, vie for the opportunity to be in the rotation, maybe a frontline rotation guy, and if you do that in the SEC, then maybe you're a top half of round one guy, and now you're making $9, $10, $11 million. Well, clearly for Shores, a guy who's, as we mentioned, already had Tommy John. He's been part of two national championship teams. He was on the mound to record the final out of this year's College World Series. Taking the $2 million full slot value and signing with the Angels was worth it for him, and he did. Eyanson went 87 to the Red Sox, and he signed for $1.75 million. Slot value was $907,000. So he got basically double slot value for that pick. And sometimes you can say, well, how did it happen? Why didn't someone take him sooner? It's why the baseball draft is screwy, because every team has their bonus pool of money. It's their slot bonus pool of money, right? Where they can use this pool of money in the first 10 rounds, and there's slot values associated with each pick, but you can oversign or undersign. Sometimes you'll take a senior college player who doesn't have leverage, so you're going to be able to sign them for significantly less, so you can oversign. So maybe it was a thing where, the Red Sox weren't anticipating seeing Eyanson there at 87, but he dropped that far, so they were able to sign him over slot value because they got someone that they feel was a significantly better player than that, and so that they can make it up later with maybe a high school player or a college senior later on in the draft. Again, another example is Briggs McKenzie. So remember, Briggs McKenzie was one of the top pitching prospects in LSU signing class among high schoolers. Well, he was the 127th pick in the draft, and he got a signing bonus of $2.9 million. That's if you look at the 127th pick, with the slot value associated with the 127th pick, he was, slot value associated with the 127th pick was $588K. So he ended up signing for $2.9 million. So he's got $2.5 million over slot value. If you're wondering, the slot value associated with $2.9 million was the 32nd pick for the Brewers, which was Willie Adams, who went there at $2.9 million. Point being, he was basically given first-round money, Briggs McKenzie was, because the Braves probably didn't think he was going to be sitting there, pick 127, and they had the money to spend, and so they spent it. So sometimes the draft can go that way. So as we look at what the LSU baseball roster looks like now, Eyanson, Shores have signed. We know the lion's share of the high school signees that were picked have signed. Really, there's two more players we're waiting on that were drafted and have a decision to make. Remember, say it all the time, but if you're taken in the first 10 rounds, you've agreed to terms. I just explained the bonus slot pool. So if you go in the first 10 rounds, you've already agreed to a contract with that professional team. So the way it works is a team will call and say, hey, we're going to take you here. Would you accept X dollar amount? And if the answer is yes, they take them. If the answer is no, they hang up and call the next prospect that they're going to take. So if you're taken in the first 10 rounds, you've already agreed to terms, you're done. Outside of the top 10 rounds is where guys may have a decision to make. And there's two we're waiting on. One is Connor Ware. So Connor Ware is the lefty from JUCO who this year, unfortunately, just didn't have a fantastic season, in large part because of a back injury that we later learned about. And we know Jay Johnson doesn't really disclose much about injuries, but that slowed Ware. In the fall, Connor Ware was unhittable. All reports were that he was LSU's best pitcher in fall baseball. Well, it didn't really manifest this season for Connor Ware, and he ended up going to the Mets in the 15th round at number 463 overall. So Connor Ware basically has a decision to make. Does he just go start his professional career? Take what what he can negotiate with the Mets and go start his professional career, or does he come back to LSU and try to be a starter again? But remember, if he does come back to LSU with the attempt to be a starter, even if he succeeds in that situation, it still may not work out that way for him financially, because as a senior sign, you lose all your leverage. So, he might even be drafted higher. To say another way, Ware could come back for a senior year, play really well, be drafted higher than the 15th round, and still get less money because he's a senior sign with no leverage. So sometimes you'll see teams do that in those top 10 rounds. They'll take a senior because they know they have no leverage. They can sign him for under slot. They can take that money and use it for another player to oversign if they need it that way. I know it's a little bit confusing, but that's the decision Connor Ware has to make. Basically, does he want to come back to LSU or does he want to start his pro career? Understanding that he's not going to make a lot of money with his signing bonus this year, and he wouldn't make a lot next year either way. It's just, do you want to go start a pro career or do you want to come back? The other is River Hamilton. So River Hamilton is a right-hander out of Oregon. He was ranked the number 99 overall prospect in the draft by MLB Pipeline, and he went in the 11th round to the Detroit Tigers. So again, just outside of the bonus slot pool. So River Hamilton's just going to have a decision to make. Do you go start your pro career with the Tigers, taking 11th round money, or do you come to LSU, spend 3 years, try to improve, and then improve that slot value whenever your time comes to hear your name called? So those are the two that we're kind of keeping an eye on right now that were drafted and will have a decision to make. If you kind of break it down the rest of the way, you've got, and I'll give a hat tip, my buddy Hunt Palmer over at Louisiana Sports.net did a great breakdown of this if you want to check it out there. You've got 10 infielders and 3 catchers. The 3 catchers are Cade Arambidi, Eddie Yaman, and Omar Cerna. Arambidi is the incumbent. Eddie Yaman redshirted this past season after transferring in from Dayton. And Omar Cerna is the freshman who is a really high ceiling type guy, one of the top catchers in the country for this signing class. You've got 10 infielders, some veterans, 4 veterans, Tanner Reeves, Seth Dardar, Braden Simpson, Zach York. Reeves, we know, is expected to play second base. Dardar is the transfer from Kansas State, Simpson from High Point, and York, the recent ad from Grand Canyon. Dardar, Simpson, and York probably figure to be first base DH type guys. Reeves expected to play second base. Milam's at short. Trent Caraway, the Oregon State transfer, very likely going to be your third baseman. And then the rest of your infielders are John Pearson, and then the sophomore, then freshman Mason Braun, Ethan Klaus, and Jack Ruckert. In the outfield, you've got 5 outfielders. Chris Stanfield returns for his senior season. Jake Brown is back for his junior year, very likely going to play in right field. Derek Curiel should slide over to center with Stanfield playing left. And then you've got an interesting one in Daniel Harden, who comes in from McLennan Community College. And Harden went to Catholic High in Baton Rouge, but he was a 2-sport star. And so because he was playing football, he didn't focus as much on baseball and the showcase events. Well, he went out and was fantastic in junior college, and he's a very athletic, toolsy guy. So as he continues to refine, Harden could be an exceptional player. And then William Patrick, a high school freshman coming in, and the Tigers have 21 freshmen on the 21 pitchers on the roster. So I don't need to run through all the names, but some of the high points that we know, Zach Cowan, Connor Benge are back, along with Jaden Newt. Gavin Guidry's coming off of injury. You've added transfers like Santiago Garcia from Oregon, Cooper Moore from Kansas. Devin Sheeran is back, who didn't pitch this past year after having the knee injury. Guys like William Schmidt return as well. Maverick Rizzi, Cooper Williams trying to increase their value on this team and their role on this team. And then you got freshmen coming in like Reagan Ricken, Marcos Paz, Zion Theophilus, and Jonah Ace, are the freshmen that are coming in the freshman picture. So if you're wondering about numbers, another thing, remember the roster currently is at 39. You got to be at 34 by opening day. But remember, the NCAA did allow in their recent legislation a DSA designation, that's designated student athlete, meaning if you were going to be cut from the roster because of the roster limits, you can be given a DSA tag and you can continue to play. So effectively, there is no roster limit, but at least in this short term. So 39 right now on the baseball roster for LSU. We'll keep an eye on River Hamilton and Connor Ware, what their decisions might be. Okay, we'll pivot. One of our conversations at SEC Football Media Days we really enjoyed was with LSU senior wide receiver Chris Hilton. You'll hear that conversation next. Locked on LSU, your team every day. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Maybe you are sharing accounts, your finances with your spouse, with your partner, and you sometimes have struggle to stay on the same page. Well, Monarch Money can help you do that. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year.
That you were one of the 3 to come?
Yeah. Take a little minute to talk about this. So, as everybody know, I done been through some stuff, since I got to LSU, you know what I mean? And it's really just like being selected to come here as an honor, but it's also a testament to my faith, you know what I mean? Just having faith in God and trusting in his plan. And that's why I'm here today. He's the reason why I am here today, 100%.
Man, the last 2 fall camps, everyone who's listening to the show knows I've talked about this.
Yeah.
You were awesome the last 2 years in fall camp, and injuries have set you back.
Yeah.
Let's start here. Take me back to, I'm sure you remember the play where you got hurt in fall camp last year. I can still see it in my mind. I was watching the corner of the end zone where it happened.
Yeah.
Walk me through that play.
It was a cover 2 look. It was a whole shot. I went up for it. I have the picture in my phone right before I hit the ground. We both tried to make a play. I came down with it. First thing I asked the ref, I said, "Was I in?" He was like, "Yep." I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm like, my leg hurt a little bit. I tried to walk it off, couldn't. And then we went to the next period. I think it was the last period of practice. I tried to go back in. I was like, yeah, no, something don't feel right. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of how it happened.
Remember, so what was the injury actually?
I had a hairline fracture.
You had a hairline fracture. I remember watching that, and then I watched you limp down the sideline, like right in front of the indoor. Like, I mean, I can see it watching those because you've been so good in fall camp, and it was like it was the last Saturday before the final scrimmage. I mean, you're right at the end of the whole thing leading up into the season.
Yep.
So that happens to you. We've seen all the potential, and then here's another injury.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned your faith, Chris, and I think everybody's respectful of that. Does that get challenged when you go through what you had to go through to rehab that injury? It kept feeling like, was it going to be this week? Is it going to be this week? Is it going to be this week? And it kept getting delayed.
It definitely did get challenging, and that's the beauty of it. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like I said, like you said, throughout the whole fall camp, I felt like I was doing like amazing, you know what I'm saying? And then I felt like it was my time, but God has a funny way of showing you things, you know what I mean? I don't know why he did it, you know what I mean? Like I guess it just wasn't my time, and I'm not going to be the one to sit here and question him on why he did it, you know what I mean? I trust in his plan for me, and did it happen to happen that way? Yeah, it did, you know what I mean? And I waited and waited and waited and waited, and then when I came back, you try to press to make plays, you know what I mean? And he still sat me down. He was like, no, not yet. And then you just so happened to see the last 2 games of the season. Mm-hmm. And that's when you saw it. So, yeah.
Vanderbilt, and Chris Hilton is with us. Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, you go off in both games. 3 touchdowns in the bowl game. Like, everybody saw why we spent so much time talking about you. Did you need that performance to validate to yourself what you were capable of on that stage?
Yeah. I don't think people realize how much injuries take a toll on you mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you could mentally check out of it, but I had a good support around me. Shout out to my guy Sherman Wilson. He was right there with me, helping me along the way. You know what I mean? And those last few games were needed to show that, like, okay, like I'm here now, like I'm back. I'm back to my old self.
Chris Hilton's hanging out with us here from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days, getting ready for a senior year where, man, you know, it's a crowded room right now. Mm-hmm. One of the things I've talked about, Chris, is like there's talent everywhere. Yeah, there's one ball. Like, how does everybody stay fed in this receiver group?
I think most people would kind of like side eye like the room being crowded, but I don't look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? I think because we're so crowded, I think everybody's gonna eat in offense. You know what I mean? Because as a defense, you can't worry about just one guy attainment and one guy. Like you have to worry about us as a whole. Especially you have to worry about us from top to bottom, because from the seniors to the freshmen, we all can play. So you got to worry about us as a whole.
Speaking of the defense, who on the defense? A lot of new guys in that secondary. Who on the defense maybe really caught your eye this spring?
I would say really everybody, but I would like to give a shout out to DJ Pickett.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
What's it like going against him?
It's a little different. It's not every day you see a 6'4", 6'5" corner out there. But it's a little different. But I said we bring the best out of each other.
So walk me through what, like, you do one-on-one drills or whatever it is when you're going up against DJ Pickett. What is it like going a rep against him? Like, what makes it a challenge?
Like I said, he's 6'5" out there playing corner. That's the tough part. He got long arms, he got long legs, and he can run at that. So that's the tough part.
Yeah. Got a couple more here with Chris Hilton. Brian Kelly's talked so much about the Clemson game and focusing on 1-0 and all that stuff. Do you like that approach?
Yeah, I do. It puts everybody on one common goal. As a team, you want to be together. You want to be one. You want to be able to mesh like together. You know what I'm saying? So having that focus of going 1-0 in week 1, it puts everybody on the same page, on the same goal. Would you rather open with Clemson, or would you rather open up with like a smaller school, kind of like a get your feet wet type game? Me personally, it really don't matter. I approach each game same way, no matter who we playing.
Yeah. Man, lots of expectations on this team. What are your expectations personally and for the team this year?
Team main goal, win. Like point blank period. That's all we want to do. We want to win. However that may come, you know what I'm saying? Take it one game at a time. Don't get too caught up focusing on the future and the games later on down the road. Don't get caught up in the past, considering that we've lost some games that we shouldn't have and we haven't won a week one game in a while. Like, don't worry about it. Just be like I like to say, be where your feet are. You know what I'm saying? Take it 1 week at a time. And for me personally, I say number one goal is just staying healthy.
Yeah.
Like always, like that's been where I struggled at. I just want to stay healthy, and whatever God has planned for me, that's what I'm gonna roll with. I'm gonna take it there.
2 more things. Number one, the touchdown catch in the state championship game against West Monroe.
Yeah.
Is that your greatest football moment? Explain them for those who don't remember. Explain them. You were a sophomore at the time,
yeah.
right?
So I think we was backed up on. We was on our 20, third down, and we called a screenplay. And I remember I was talking back to my OC, and he was like, he called a screen pass. He was thinking that I was just gonna get a couple yards, maybe get tackled and stuff like that. So I catch the ball, boom. I see the hole, I hit it, and I thought I was gonna get tackled. I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was, but I broke free. And the funny thing is, you can go back and watch the interview from after the game, and I said it when I was running. I'm looking at the big screen in the Superdome. Like I'm looking up while I'm running to see who's behind me, and I see the dude. He dive, and I kind of I kick my feet up so he don't tackle me, and then yeah. But greatest, that's up there. I think the greatest one would be either the Oklahoma game, the first touchdown right before halftime, or my freshman year. We played Catholic.
And, you had to go there, bro.
And
you had to go. I set you up with a West Monroe walk. You go in there trying to take a shot at my Bears. What in the
I was on
Chris.
I was freshman year on the freshman team, and it was our first game of the season. I scored. I think I had 3 touchdowns, but it was just one. I think I got the video on my phone somewhere. Fade ball in the end zone. I went up and I one-handed it, but my hand was way behind my head,
like an Odell style.
Yeah, it was one of those. And
so you know where Brew went to school, right?
Catholic.
Yeah, that's right. You had to get a Catholic High Bear to go win at Zachary. So that's what it is. All right, last thing before you go. I appreciate your time. You and Flaugier play one-on-one. Who wins?
She won already.
All right, give me some deets. How did it go? And by the way, I'm not surprised at all. She's incredible. But anyway,
it was what 7-4.
7-4.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6 foot.
How tall is she?
5'10".
You can just back her down?
Nah, I ain't play like that. No.
Oh, I'm ruthless, bro. I just gotta win. I gotta win.
I ain't do that. Nah.
Chris Hilton, man. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. I wish you a ton of success this year and good health, man. Thank you. It's our
show today is brought to you by our friends over at Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. Of course, it is the physicians at Our Lady of the Lake caring for LSU's top athletes. And that same level of care is available to you and me. It's a part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System and the official championship health partner of LSU. Our Lady of the Lake is transforming healthcare from clinical excellence in sports medicine and student health to breakthrough research and medical education. We're talking game-changing care that keeps athletes at their best and builds a stronger, healthier Louisiana for all of us, because this partnership isn't just about LSU sports. It's about caring for all of us, creating opportunity and leading the next generation of healthcare talent right here at home. So whether you're on the field, you're in the stands, or you're just doing life, know that championship level healthcare is right here for you. Learn more at ololrmc.com/LSU. That's ololrmc.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. As we wrap up today's episode, it is only fitting and appropriate that we give a hat tip to Dan Borne, the legendary voice of Tiger Stadium and the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. For the last 38 years, Dan Borne has been on the mic and really has been the soundtrack to so many amazing memories for both LSU football and LSU basketball. Well, Deacon Dan had some health issues and obviously was not in the booth last football season. Bill Franke stepped over from Alec Box Stadium and was the PA announcer for Tiger Stadium in LSU football last fall. And on Friday, LSU via statement announced that Dan Borne would be retiring after 38 years on the microphone. 3 football national championships, 6 SEC titles in football and men's basketball, and got to call some amazing moments. He coined the phrase "chance of rain, never," where of course during the right before kickoff when they go through the weather forecast in Tiger Stadium. It is interesting because it's just going to sound different forever, especially for someone like me who's 43 years old. It's the only voice I've ever associated with those 2 venues. It will be different for sure, but life goes on, times change. But the memories that Dan Borne provided and lended his voice to are some amazing ones that we'll remember forever. So congratulations on an incredible 38-year run to Dan Borne. And here's to the next generation of what both Tiger Stadium and the Maravich Center, or whatever the new venue, will sound like. So, but congratulations and thank you to Dan Borne for all of the amazing memories over the nearly 4 decades that he was the public address announcer at Tiger Stadium and the Maravich Center. Okay, that's going to do it for us here on today's episode of Locked on LSU. Thanks for making us your first listen. Now, for your second listen, how about you check out The Portal Show with Brian Smith? You can find The Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you are listening to us on podcasts, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate us, leave a review. If you're on YouTube, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. And be sure to let a friend know that if they love the Tigers, we got you here every single day as we count down a football season. It is Locked on LSU, your team every day.